All right, you guys ready?
I'm ready.
All right, 3, 2, 1. What's going on, everybody? It's a Brave Podcast back for another episode. Per usual, if you are new here, thank you so much for checking us out. If you are not new here, thanks again for coming back for another episode. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Facebook, YouTube, all the things. This episode, shout out to Rich's guide business, Rhythm of the Tides Guide Service. He left his 9 to 5 to go on and try to guide for a living. So if you want to go after bass, stripers, catfish, maybe even mix in some snakehead in there every once in a while, hit him up. His phone number is 609-352-6046, or hit him up on Facebook or Instagram. It's been a minute, boys. It has been a minute. I'm glad you guys made it off the water. You survived the storm.
Yeah, we survived. We definitely we survived. We had 70-30 odds, Shane.
70-30. I like that. And it looked brutal. That video of you driving back, and that had to have hurt, dude. There's just no way that didn't feel good.
Well, at one point it started to hail, so the hail took it to another level. We were using a hat to like shield the rain, holding it out in front of the
right.
Yeah. And when it switched to hail and they started making their way through, like around the, you got popped in the neck, popped on the other side, popped in the forehead. Had to come off plane, but it was all right. It wasn't that bad. We only fished for like 2 hours,
Did you get any intel for tomorrow night?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. That's good. And you seemed real worried about that.
I don't know if I was worried about it. More so, I was going stir crazy today, Shane. I had like office stuff that I had to do. I got through that stuff in, a few hours, and then I was just pacing around my house trying to be productive. And like when I'm like that, I'm like, I need to go fishing because I'm not being productive. I might as well be figuring something out. So
what's that switch been like, going from a 9 to 5 to like a structured 9 to 5 kind of job to doing what you're doing?
A lot. Can we intro Mason and then I'll get into talking?
Yeah.
I've got to hear Mason say something before I start.
well, they, just so Mason knows, we recorded about 5 minutes worth of him just wandering around his room trying to find somewhere to set up his phone that he's still struggling with. So
yeah, just getting.
I mean, everybody knows you're not the best with technology, but it's fine, man. It's fine.
We're gone now.
Hey, at least you got a tag. Was it a reward tag?
Yeah, but it's expired.
Expired?
Yeah.
I didn't know those things even expired. What the hell's the point of that?
Before 2026. So.
Man, they got you on that.
Yeah, I did.
Did you call as soon as you got in your truck?
Yeah, they didn't answer.
Okay.
So you caught a snakehead that was tagged. What'd you catch it on?
Spinnerbait.
Spinnerbait. Did you see it? Were you throwing at it or just random?
No, just in the rain next to the lay down. And came right up. We could see the tag as soon as he came up.
Were you freaking out as soon as you saw the tag?
Yeah, Rich was unlocking the rod locker, getting the net out.
Dude,
he just looked
chilling. I was chilling, and Mason's like, "It's got a tag. It's right there. It's back."
I can just envision the chaos that was probably happening inside that boat.
Yeah,
but it looked like a nice fish.
Yeah.
I mean, you haven't even really done too much snakehead fishing this year, have you?
No, I'm not.
Not like you were last year.
Not loving it anymore.
No? Why not?
They're just such a pain. Fishing for them, like slime your boat, destroy a spinnerbait, buzzbait, whatever.
Right.
Then shooting them, like if you shoot them on a Friday night, I'm not getting up early Saturday to fish.
Right.
So just gotta pick and choose.
Yeah, I feel like battles. You can't be a nightsman and a daysman.
Yeah. That's where I feel like he shifted. Like last year, he was a straight nightsman all summer. Yeah. That just every it felt like every weekend you were just shooting snakes at night. Now this summer it feels like you're doing a lot more bass fishing.
Trying to get dialed in on that. Hasn't worked.
Riding the 14-pound struggle bus, dude.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty good catching 14.
Nah, you're
hey, look,
you're on the right track.
You look like you had a good tournament Sunday. I saw you posted a picture. It had 2 good fish. Was that in your club?
It's better if you get to weigh-ins in time.
Yeah, let's talk about that, Mason. What happened on Sunday?
So I fished at a club on Saturday, and weigh-ins were at 2:30. And every morning of the tournament, I text my partner weigh-in time and boat number, and I set an alarm. For whatever reason, Sunday didn't do any of that, and it's like 2:08. I'm running to one last dock in the Northeast. There's not a flurry of boats coming in behind me. So right about then, Brian Setlock calls, and yeah, weigh-ins were at 2. So we were way too far behind.
Damn. Did you just completely blank on that?
Yeah.
2 seems early for the weigh-in. What time did you launch?
5:30.
Wow. That sucks. So did your bag not even count, or did you get like pounds taken off?
I was too far going. I went back to the range.
Yeah, I mean, you would have been in the negatives by the time.
Yeah.
By the time
I hadn't even hit the no wake zone yet.
Oh my God.
It was like 2:8. It was like 2:18, and well, I had just weighed in, and Setlock comes up to me, and he's like, have you heard from Mason? Mason's not in yet, and I'm like, oh fuck, like I'm thinking he has boat trouble or whatever, because the wind picked up at the end of the day. It was pretty snotty,
Yeah.
and so I guess Mason called Setlock back, and Setlock handed me the phone, and I'm just like, yo, where you at? What's up, yo? I could tell he was confused for a second because I didn't sound like Setlock, and then he caught on that it was me. I never said it was me. I was just like, yo, what's up? What are you doing? And he's like, I'm at Charlestown. I'll make it in. And I'm like,
I'll make it back.
Motor problems. And I hung the phone up and gave it to Brian. Meanwhile, I didn't realize that he was just making a mistake that everybody's made before. And
I was too far going, and I launched at Charlestown. There was no point in going back in.
Right.
You won't find a bass fisherman that's fished tournaments for long enough that has never missed a check-in time unintentionally. It's just,
right.
It's one of those things. It's one of those mistakes that you make it once, you won't make it again. I mean, hell, there's Elite Series anglers that still write their time down on the back of their hand.
Yeah.
Because that one time that they missed it, it was traumatizing enough to where, like, it happened to me. Dude, it happened to me in 2020. In 2020. Yeah, 2020. I was fishing a Five Alive Open up in North Jersey at Carnegie Lake. And my partner, Adam, and I, we always had a strategy. We'd fish down the lake and then come back up the lake for the second half of the day. Because a lot of guys would like make runs and just pass by fish. So we would fish until we felt like we had to turn around and then fish our way back. For whatever reason that day, it was tough. It was a tough bite. And like we pushed further back into the lake than we should have. And it was an electric only lake, so you can't just crank up and run. We ended up being like 12 minutes late or something, and we would have came in second place with the weight that we had. And none of the fish that we caught, or like we caught nothing that helped us for like the last 2 hours of the day when we pushed like further back into the lake. And like, it was like a fucking $800 fuck up. You know what I mean? You don't forget.
Damn.
You like it was like, it was a tournament that draws a lot of boats every year. It's a high entry fee, and like, dude, it was the lowest low feeling ever. You know what I mean? But like, at least Mason, you made that mistake where I don't know what you had, but like, I don't think you weren't going to be in check range. So like, at least you made that mistake where it didn't cost you money.
What did you have, Mason? Because those fish that you posted pictures of, they look big.
Yeah, we had a couple decent ones. We needed to get 2 more out. We had like 15 to 16.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What one?
22, 21.
Heavy 21-pound bag. Shout out to Connor. I think his name is Connor Means. I wish. Let me.
Well, this wasn't Susquehanna Trail, was it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. It was SFT.
Oh, it was.
And I'm actually going to pull this up because it's important that we shout these guys out and say their names correctly.
Well, while you're looking that up, who did you fish with, Mason? John?
No, I fished with Travis.
Oh, okay.
And
What did you have, Rich?
We had 1775.
Gotcha.
So we were just outside the money.
I saw Duke blew up his motor.
Connor Mann and Braden Atkinson. Congratulations. Those guys, they weighed in 2192. And that was the SFT championship. Duke Nave and Andrew Hively won Team of the Year. Shout out to those guys. I'm just going to go through a couple other, friends of the show, call it, that, had some high accolades for the year. Congrats to Keith and Zach Cowan for winning the Ike Foundation tournament. It's the second time they won the boat. We've talked about Keith, or I've talked about Keith a little bit before on the show. He's kind of been a mentor for me on the Bay. And we are going to have him on the show at some point. A lot of these shows are probably going to happen in the wintertime. It seems like that's when we're able to get most of our recording done for obvious reasons. Shout out to one of the homies, Rob Wilworth. He won the New Jersey Bass Nation tournament on the Bay the day after the day after the Ike Foundation tournament. It's another guy we're going to have on. So there's some recent wins. Shout out to those guys. Congrats most recently to Connor Mann and Braden Atkinson. It was not easy out there to catch bass on Sunday, Shane. It's getting tougher. It has been getting tougher by the day. Salinity's come up. It's high. Crabs are around, the whole deal. So even more kudos to them for getting it done in kind of tough conditions. So.
Yeah. Well, when you guys were both kind of bitching a little bit on Saturday about how tough the bite had been, and you had said something about salinity, and I didn't even think of it, but for the most part, we're getting rain right now, but for the most part, it's been a pretty dry summer. So that salt line is pushing way up. And I got to imagine it is messing with those fish a lot.
Yeah, it has, dude. It has such an effect because transitioning from living like in New Jersey for most of my life to moving down here 4 years ago, 5 years ago, whatever. I pay attention now to because I live it, I'm on one street off the water. So I experience all the different weather variations that happen throughout the Bay. But dude, that salinity level and the salt line is such a real thing,
right.
So this week, last year, was the week that we were fishing the Bass Open, and the flat was you could, and there was it was hard to not get bit in most of the key zones. You could just catch them, whether you wanted to throw a chatterbait, whether you wanted to drag, whatever, you could catch them. It's not that way this year. And I remember that leading up to that Open last year, every time it rained, I was like, yes, thank you. Because I knew what it was doing. It was keeping the water fresh. Like you said, Shane, this year it's been dry. Last year, June was June and into July was wet. And this year it wasn't that way. And it's a real deal. It affects the fishing. It affects the bass. You can see a lot of places out on that flat right now, the grass doesn't look, super good and whatever. And I know I'm probably killing my guide business by saying this, but it's just one of those things. So if you want to learn how to deal with that, hit me up. We can go through the strategies on how to overcome the tough conditions.
Plug it, dude. Plug it. Obviously I'm no biologist, so I don't really know how it affects the fish, but it's when they're not used to being in salty water, it's got to obviously do something to them. But what kind of struck me was, I remember, so you and I fished with Dylan back in, that was probably April or May, I can't remember. And I remember you guys were talking and you were saying he asked if that was your favorite time of year to fish. And you're like, no, I prefer summertime, that June, July bite a little bit better. And then, no shade, but you and Mason and stuff, you guys are struggling to put together 20-pound bags. And that would be the only contributing factor to that.
Yeah, dude, there's so many different things, living on a tidal body of water. There's so many different things that can change from year to year. And ice effect has something to do with it, the way that flat shifts around every year and how those sandbar moves and where, there's this time of year, there's 5 different types of grass out there. So if one of those types of grass didn't respond to the colder winter better than the others, it's going to change things. there's a lot of places already right now where like this time last year, there was clear defined edges of grass. It was topped out, on both tides, whatever. This year, it doesn't look that way. And it's just part of the ebb and flow of fishing in a tidal body of water is that you got to just know that the only thing consistent ever is change.
Right.
And, it's, we're seeing that this year. It's been a little bit of a funny year. It hasn't, kind of just stayed consistently good for long periods of time. It just, it is what it is. It's the ebbs and the flows, the rhythm of the tides.
That's right. For you, Mason, I mean, it's no secret you love the Northeast. Are you seeing that it's gotten hard to fish in there too?
Yeah, a little bit. It just seems like this year there's been so many dead zones of like Rich was saying in July, the last couple of years, like I feel like you have so many waypoints out in the grass that you can pull up and catch fish. It might not be big, but like you can put together a pretty good bite, especially with low tide. And like this year, it just seems like the number of those zones is down so much. But I mean, the Northeast fish have kind of stayed active. They're just all retreads, I feel like, and you can always put together 5 of them on the right tide in there.
Yeah, as long as it's not off limits, the whole river.
Yeah, that's on Wednesday nights, boy.
That's the wild card.
Harry said, "Close it all, close her all."
That's so funny, man.
Out.
God, I mean, so we haven't done a podcast since May. So, I mean, both of you guys just kind of break it down. The fishing out there will start in May till now. I mean, like, what has it been stingy the whole time? Was it really good and it's getting worse?
No. So it's important that we preface this by saying the fishing on the upper Chesapeake Bay is still very good. We're talking about this in a very tournament oriented, tone. So like, it's important to note that like, even though, because of the way things have set up this year, it may not have set up for the best tournament results year and like, the best look good on paper type of year. The fishing is still very good. Like I think numbers wise and just the amount of fish in general that we're catching out on the flat, it's still definitely really good. Like it's strong.
I mean, the reality of it is you still need 20 pounds to win, on any tournament. You still need 20 pounds to win. So it is still putting out. And there definitely is numbers. I mean, the perfect example was last Wednesday when you and I fished that tournament. I mean, we rolled up and you had 3 fish in literally like 5 minutes, not even. I mean, you filled our limit that fast. And we caught fish all night. It's just there's a lot of 2-pounders where I feel like last year the average, and I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like last year the average size was like a 4-pounder.
Right. Yeah. I don't think, the average, I don't know if the average size is ever a 4-pounder. Like if you're catching every time you hook a fish, you're catching a 4-pounder. That's pretty fucking like you're saucing them. Like that's pretty darn good. But I think the overall, like the top end on the bags this year is a little bit, the weights are a little bit down, but we've also seen those flashes too. Like just a couple weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago, Victor Oriema and Logan Corman, they weighed in almost 27 pounds.
Right.
And it seems like every year, like it gets to its peak when it's at its best. And then all of a sudden one switch, it'll go like, it'll get kind of tough on you right away. Like, and it's almost like the fish know that or feel that, like they can feel that, like that hot summer heat setting in, the salinity lines coming up or whatever. So we've still seen those flashes in the pan of like those real big bags, but it's just like, I think overall conditions wise, it's been on the weekends, it's been a challenging year. It seems like the weather trend that we were stuck in is every Saturday and Sunday, the wind was going to blow and then Monday, it would fall out, which guess what? Yesterday was Monday. There was no wind at all. Like I was on the water last night. It was completely flat, whatever. But it just it is what it is. There's highs and lows in it. So
when you see those high peaks, like that 26-pound peak, and then all of a sudden it drops off, do you think a lot of those bigger fish are just kind of moving down into the deeper water? Like they're just kind of coming up in waves and going back down in waves?
Mason, you answer that.
I haven't dove in this year and felt around the bottom. I don't know.
You haven't felt for clams yet, man? Come on.
No. I don't know. I agree with Rich. It seems like we're kind of on like a downfall now. Like, Vic having 26, like the Ike, it took 25, 26.
Yeah, it took 24. Yeah.
24. So, going into August, feel like the weights are going to just keep dropping. And I feel like having the right tide in tournament, huge difference. And we kind of haven't had great tides a lot of these Saturday, Sunday deals, I feel like.
Yeah.
This weekend wasn't real ideal. Or we had like a 8:30, 8:45 low.
Yeah. And it's getting light at 5:30, so the sun's already fully up by by the time.
So if you had to pick, Mason, what is your ideal tides on a Saturday?
I would like low, like an hour to an hour and a half after sunrise, I think, and just try and find some high water fish for the rest of the day. Try and catch them all first thing, and then just kind of feel out how the rest of it goes. I mean, it's really tough to catch them while the water's up right now, but there's definitely some zones you can do it in.
Right.
Mason, you've made a shift this year. You used to be a northeastman, like a northeast,
tried and true.
Susquehannaman. I need to be looking at like some type of out of the water cover. But you've been fishing out on that flat a little bit more this year. What have you learned?
I don't know. I don't know. It's tough. I feel like a lot of the best fish are definitely all grouped together. Like a lot of the tournaments that are being won, I feel like there's 2 or 3 other boats that are close to them that also had a big weight. And I just feel like the zones that I've been in, I just haven't been in around 5 big ones. I don't know. I've been on some, like I said, about the kind of the hot zones this year, just been so small. Like I feel like I've been going to waypoints last 2 months that just haven't had fish on them. And I keep waiting for them to show up, and it seems like they're just not this year for whatever reason. And just kind of been adapting to some new stuff and fishing some deeper water with a moving bait. And I've kind of started to like that deal a lot.
Oh, yeah? Talk about that a little bit more.
Just catching them deep. Like in the past when I run out there, I really like catching them on a worm. A worm or flipping. And I feel like catching those fish deep, you can catch them in a lot more conditions. Like high tide fish, I feel like winding can be a lot of times your best deal. And whether it's slick or blowing, like those fish that are down like 5 foot, 6 foot down there in the lower stems of grass, like it seems like those fish on the winding deal will bite either way. Putting together 5 big ones is tough.
How are you? It is tough. It is tough.
Really tough.
Once you're on the right track. How are you finding these areas?
Just getting a little bit further off that defined edge sometimes. And like you said, there hasn't been like as hard of a defined edge, I feel like, in a lot of the zones. Like a lot of the edges of the ditches, there's not like a wall. Instead, you're just kind of fishing, I don't know, like a 20-yard wide stretch and just kind of trying to fish those outside edges of them instead of pushing all the way up, unless that water's way up.
Are you still running that small unit on your boat, or did you upgrade? The small Garmin?
No, I have a Lowrance.
Okay. Do you have mapping? You have mapping on there, or is it just depth? Okay.
No, I have mapping.
Because that's when I first started fishing with you. That's what always was amazing to me is like you had waypoints on the flats and you were literally just working off of just strictly a depth finder, just literally just depth. And I was like, wow, this is interesting. And I'm pretty sure the first 2 times we fished together, we fished out on the flat and you didn't even turn it on.
Yeah, probably not.
So it's like
Just going
to be able to
off that.
produce spots like that and then kind of build off of that. I mean, that's just going to show too, like how much you're growing as an angler as well out there.
Yeah, like I'm looking at Navionics a lot now and trying to like, this makes sense for fish to push up here right now, and based off tides and trying to learn that a lot more. Kind of like from a deer hunting aspect, I love looking at maps and terrain features and like linear leaf off stuff, and just trying to do the same thing with fishing by looking at like real in-depth Navionics and stuff, and
Yeah.
having more of a plan instead of just throwing at a piece of grass.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's definitely the way to go about it. Like that was the perfect way to say it, is to have a plan rather than just throwing at grass, because I feel like a lot of people go out there and they just find a clump of grass and they just start throwing whatever they can at it, and it's you really gotta pick through that stuff. I mean, maybe not so much like I mean I don't know. I have not barely fished out there at all this year, so I shouldn't even be talking about any of this, but like the topwater bite has been really good out there, and
Yeah.
and like the frog bite. I mean, the frog bite's always good, but the night Rich and I fished, I mean, we caught them on frogs. We caught them on. I mean, Rich caught them on buzzbait and a popper, and it was just like it was like right on those edges, and I like low tide because like you can really see everything out there and you can like understand how it lays out. When it's high tide, like there's grass out there, but you don't know exactly how it lays out. When the tide falls out there and it was dead low like it was that night we fished, like you get such a good perspective of what the flat actually looks like when that grass is exposed and you can see where the ditches are. And you can see where the edges fall off and stuff like so. Fishing in that time range and like mapping out in that during those times, like that could be such a big help.
True.
Yeah. We I've talked about it with a lot of my clients here lately on the importance of late summertime mapping. And I'm not gonna I can't spill it all, but there's some real benefits to even when the fishing is not, at its best, call it in August and September. But everything you just said, Shane, from when the tide is low and those edges get very defined, you can really map out your next year. And what I mean by that is like there's only going to be so much variance in how much the sandbars are going to shift. And like, for anybody that's new to fishing the Upper Bay, new to fishing tidal bodies of water in general, you need to consider sandbars and how they shift year to year through the winter storms and all that stuff. But what I'm getting at is at the end of the year, every year, you can plot out the next season with your ditches when the grass gets topped out.
Right.
I'll leave it there. But because everybody has a different strategy, but let that settle in that late August and September, if you just ride around and you see how the grass edges are laying out for the next season, you got a leg up because before the grass is topped out, you already know where those ditches are and how they truly are shaped. So,
right.
Makes sense.
But
yeah, I mean, it's all good info. What have you felt like the water clarity has been pretty good out there the whole time? Because I mean, it was gin clear the other night when we were out there.
It changes by the minute, Shane. Honestly, it changes by the minute. It changes by the wind direction. As a whole, the water clarity and water quality is pretty good, I would say. There's a little bit of an algae bloom that's happening, and I think some of that is from the heat and the salt. But overall, it's good. I mean, depending on what direction the tide's going, depending on what direction the wind's blowing, just going to kind of shift around that cleaner and that more stained water. And like, there's so much floating grass and chopped up grass out there right now that, like, again, wind and tide shifts all of that around at the same time. And it really forces you to be smart about where you're going on the flat. Like, you got to think about like what the wind and the tide are both doing and how it's going to affect all those floating cheese mats. And then it also forces you to be really adaptable to where, like, if you think an area is going to set up right and you pull up on it and you look at it and you're like, dude, we can't even get a bait through here. You got to just pull it up and go.
Right.
You can't sit there and fish an area that you literally can't get a bait through the whole area. So
that, for me, that's like one of the toughest parts this time of year, when that grass is fully grown and how thick it is. Just some of those spots, man, it just eats up your bait. It's just impossible to fish it. And like you and I kind of talked about it again on that Wednesday night. I started with a chatterbait and you were throwing a spinnerbait, and I like asked you, and like, is that what they're eating? And you're like, well, it's more so that it's easier to get this through the grass at a low tide, which makes sense. It's designed to come through a lot easier than getting hung up like the chatterbait does,
Yeah. I mean, efficiency is everything.
Right.
For sure. So.
Well, what's next on the agenda for you guys tournament wise? What are the big ones out there coming up?
I think she's about wrapped up.
Is it?
If I'm being completely honest, I'm looking at I got the calendar in front of me right now. We got a few fruit jars left, to fish, and no disrespect in terms of, like, fruit jars, tournaments that don't have a trail, there's no points accrued. They're fruit jars, they're wildcats, they're hat derbies, whatever you want to call them. There's a couple of those left. We got our Wednesday nighters, which is always, a Wednesday night prestige. Let's go prestige worldwide.
Yeah.
And then we got a Chester County left in September to fish, Chester County in October to fish, and a BFL. But none of that stuff's shaking until mid-September. So it's time to go north.
Yeah. When are you going up there before we go up there? Are you taking a couple?
I'm going to go up and fish the Thayer's Marine team trail on Champlain. On that tournament's going to be the 22nd of August, so I'll come home for a few days, and then we'll rip it back up there for our trip. I'm really looking forward to that, boys.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one. I still need to get my shit together for that. But what are you expecting the bite to be like up there in August?
At Champlain?
Yeah.
Beats me. No,
come on, man.
Yeah, I'm not qualified to talk about Champlain whatsoever.
You fished up there before, right?
Yeah, I feel pretty good about Champlain. I've been up there a lot. I've not put it together fully in a tournament day yet up there. I've come close in BFLs, to having good tournaments, cashing checks, whatever. But typically that time of year in late August, the biggest groups of smallmouth are all the way out. They're deep. They're in the inland sea. And this is based on history, how tournaments have been won in the past. But those big schools of smallmouth start getting out deep. They really start getting out in that inland sea zone, suspended underneath big schools of alewife, over 40 to 50 foot of water in some cases. So it's a lot of magic box fishing that time of year for, those true giants, catching fish off of isolated boulders in deep water is always a pattern there. And there's always, an opportunity to go catch big greenfish. The largemouth fishing up there that time of year is exceptional, especially if the water's up. If the water level on the lake is up and you can go really expand on zones in Missisquoi Bay and up around Rouse's Point, it can be, great largemouth fishing. Whether they're tournament winning fish or not, that's to be determined anytime you're up there. But I mean, dude, Champlain is one of the greatest lakes in the country. So it's always good. The fishing's going to be good. That's
You going to be running the cone of shame?
The what?
The cone of shame. Looking down in the water through the cone.
No, that's a
beds deal.
That's a spawning fish program. Yeah,
gotcha.
Cone of injustice.
Yeah, there you go. I said cone of shame. Same thing.
Close enough.
Yeah. But I mean, so overall, fishing's good. but tough to put a big bag together. I mean, truthfully though, like looking at your pictures, I mean, it looks like your clients are having a good time. I mean, you've been putting seems like you're always putting your clients on fish.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So guiding was great. Going back to kind of how we got into this conversation 30 minutes ago. I made the decision at the beginning of May to go full time with guiding. Stepped away from Bass University. I had been with the company since 2018. The ownership group, Pete Gluzak, Jeff Olson, Mike Iaconelli, still love all of them. And I think it's reciprocated. It was not a bad split whatsoever. It was more so just the timing was right. The universe was giving enough signs, and it was time to do it. May and June and into early July were phenomenal. I was busy. I was busy. Like it felt like at one point there was a streak where I was up at 4 a.m. and doing my morning trip and my night trip in the evening, every day for quite some run. And it was good. A lot of people helped. A lot of people shared posts, you guys included. Thank you. So the transition right off the rip was good, Shane. But you asked me at the beginning, like how I was feeling about it when it happened and how I'm feeling about it now. If I'm being completely honest, I'm still fucking scared.
Yeah.
I'm still not worried because like I know I'm always going to figure it out, but like it's on my mind all the time of like, where is this next check? Where's the next money coming from?
For sure.
I bet.
Fortunately enough, the first couple months I was blessed to be in a position where like I can breathe for a month or two and not worry about the wolves at the door. But with that being said, like boat maintenance, truck maintenance, all these things that are going to always kind of be there, like got to stay foot on the throttle. So, it's forcing me to expand right now, think about different species to catch, which, has been a big transition in general, like going full-time guiding in general. Like, I really leaned on the stripe. I leaned on the stripers and the rockfish hard while they were around really good. And I had a great time doing it.
Right.
On catching catfish a lot of times when people just, they enjoy catching fish. So go catch some catfish, whatever. It's forcing me to like step outside the box of like being just Rich, the tournament fisherman on the bay. It's now making me be like, think from a perspective of like, how do we just go catch fish in any conditions, any weather, and it's like opening my eyes to things of like that, I didn't think about before. So.
Yeah, I saw that. I think it's this weekend. You're running a trip. You're going to go south a little bit, right?
Well,
you're looking to book a trip.
It's not booked yet, but I put out a post for I mean, there's still a big school of, and I don't know when we're going to release this episode, but if we could get it out before the end of July, that would be August, that would be awesome because August 1 we can't fish for rockfish anymore. There's still a big group of rockfish down by Pools Island out front of the Gunpowder River and that region of the bay. And like what I figured out, Shane, in June and into through the month of June into very early July or whatever, was that like those schools of striper, they can't hide, they can't hide. Like thanks to Jared at Bass Tech, like my boat's set up pretty well to be able to scan zones, and if there's fish around, I'm going to see them. I'm going to waypoint them, and when we put that troller in the water, we're going to put our baits on them every cast, at the very minimum. Like to whether the fish bite and whether we present the baits the right way to make them bite's a different story. But like if we see them, we're going to put baits on them. So yeah, I'm going to try to run a trip on Saturday down by Pools Island and, expand my horizons a little bit.
Yeah.
That Yamaha is going to have a little bit of salinity running through her for a few hours, but
Yeah.
she'll be all right.
I mean, listen, if you're gonna guide anywhere, this is a great place to do it because of all those exact reasons. Like, you don't have to lean on just the largies or just the smallies. You can go, and certain times of the year you can chase those stripers, and then you know there's always going to be cats around, and people around here eat that up. Like you said, there's a lot of people in this area that just want to fish. There's a lot of people just want to take a boat ride, and then I know you're booking some educational trips too, which is a great thing. I mean, there's I'm sure there's a whole clientele of people that would like to, learn how to run the Voodoo box and all that kind of stuff,
Yeah. I mean, thanks for mentioning that, Shane. Yeah, I'm also doing, navigational trips on the Upper Bay, because the Upper Bay, the Flats region can be intimidating for people. There's a lot of stories out there of, running aground and this and that. And like, look, yeah, that can happen. But with some basic principles, those types of accidents can be avoided 99.9% of the time. So yeah, I've done some navigational trips out on the bay too, just helping people learn how to move around out there, how to navigate safely, get to channels, get to preferred channels. What do all the day marks and the beacons out on the bay? What do they mean? There's a lot. The Upper Chesapeake Bay is a really big body of water. I mean, it's massive. It's the largest estuary in the world. So that's been part of the transition, is realizing like that. Guiding isn't always just taking people to go catch fish. Like, there's other things people want to learn about out there as well. So it's been an interesting transition.
Yeah. And like, I mean, there's a lot of people that around here that want to buy boats, and that's where like your navigational trips come into play. Is, there's a lot of people in this area that didn't grow up with a boat that want to own a boat now, and whether they're pleasure boaters or fishermen or whatever. I mean, there's always going to be an option to book a trip with you and learn how to, safely navigate a boat, safely operate a boat, all that stuff. So kudos to you, man. I mean, it takes a lot of guts to leave a secure job to go chase a dream, I mean, that's what a lot of, there's people like myself who've always wanted to be like an entrepreneur or a business owner and stuff. And you're in the right position to do it. And like you said, you'll just figure it out when time comes. So, again, kudos to you, man.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it, man. It's it's been it's been scary. It's been trying at times already. But I don't know.
Well, we'll check back in come deer season and see how it's rolling.
Yeah. Well, no, I can't. God, I can't wait to hunt a deer.
I feel like we've beat the fish up. We got to talk a little bit about deer hunting, man.
Yeah. Deer hunt in July. Let's go.
Yeah.
I know your mind's not on it, but I know Mr. Mason down there he's drooling at the mouth.
It really is. It's on my mind, but like I feel like secondhandly, I get it enough from Mason, like to just like keep me fired up and like ready to go. So
yeah.
What's it looking like, Mason? What's your game plan? September 1st is right around the corner, or September 11th, whatever it opens in Maryland. What's the game plan?
Probably not gonna have a game plan until the 10th. I don't like to lock anything in, but
I don't like to hear that. I need you locked in right now.
Not going to be locked in this year. Just going to hunt. I've got some deer to look at. Nothing's got me real excited yet, but I've got plenty of shooters showing around. So just going to see. I haven't started glassing yet. I haven't really dialed in with cameras on good intel spots. Just kind of have them out in some more like low pressure areas, just seeing what's around. And
right.
I'm ready. After every 14 pounds I catch, I'm I'm more ready for deer.
You get off the hook this easy. You're saying like, oh, I ain't been really doing much.
Yeah.
Bullshit, dude. Like you've been covered in ticks. You've been in the woods. You've been out there getting after it, dude. What does your like? So right now you're maxing right now. Like you're maxing, you're maxing, all that stuff, dude. Like because the week that it was a fucking 100 every day, you were in the woods, like around your work schedule.
Psychopath.
Help us understand. Yes, he's a psychopath. Help us understand. What does summertime scouting mean? Like, what does that mean? What are you doing? What are you trying to understand? What are you trying to figure out this time of year that's going to help you in September?
So I got two separate mindsets. It's either going in just a summer mindset to put a camera in there, see what's around, see what lived, see if there's anything crazy to be excited over. And then I have the mindset of, all right, I'm going into this bedding area or thicket, whatever, and I'm picking a tree and I'm hanging an SD cam, or I'm just scoping it out, areas I haven't been to for more like late September, October. And a lot of those areas I'm not putting a cell cam in. I'm just kind of going in and making a mental note of it. But as far as summer scouting, like it's pretty simple. I'm looking for a creek and ag, and then if I get around some ag or waterway in the ag is where every mature buck is going to enter that field in the summer most of the time. And I'm putting cell cam pretty close to that.
Back up. Waterway into ag.
You know how there's like, if you have a big cornfield, you'll have a strip coming through, normally like a low corner or somewhere low. It's all grass.
Okay.
Can you picture it?
Yeah.
Like that's a waterway.
Hey, can you fucking picture it, dude? I'm thinking about it, all right?
Your guy, keep going.
There's water going through that. That's what it's used for, is so all the water can drain out there.
Right.
But that's also where all the thermals drop to in the evenings. So most of the time you watch a bean field this time of year, that's where a big deer is going to come out. He might just enter there and then spread either way. But they really like to come out there because all those thermals from that entire field are just sucking right down into it. So as far as just getting intel, putting a camera on that is pretty high percentage. You're going to figure out what mature deer are around.
Yeah, I agree completely with that. And like a lot of people, when they're glassing, like they're looking at these bucks, they don't necessarily ever go to the middle of the field, but they kind of walk down those edges. But that's not where they come. Sometimes they're coming out like, midway down those field edges or whatever, but 90% of the time they're popping out in those low corners, just like you said. They're kind of just putting their face in those thermals there.
Yeah.
What? Sorry, go ahead.
I'm ready. I haven't heard of any EHD deal yet, but I know a pretty big one got hit by a car on a piece of public, and I haven't ridden over to look at him yet, but I think it's one of the ones I've been watching. So.
Oh no, really?
We can already cross one off the list.
Wow.
What the hell's the deer get hit on the road for this time?
Betting area in the sky, man.
Yeah.
I took another one.
It gained another one. If it's the one I think, it's a 5-year-old.
Why is the deer getting hit this time of the year?
It's just dumb, crossing.
Yeah, just crossing the road. Yeah.
I get it, but like
no rush.
Headlights, man, frozen.
Yeah.
I'm blaming the driver on that. I feel like
you said you haven't ridden over to look at it. Does somebody have it? Or is it still laying there?
I got heard there was a big one hit and kind of what he looked like, and it's kind of what was the A plan for this year. So
damn. So, is it one you had sheds off of?
No, I know somebody that has them though. So
who is it? Who's got them?
Can't drop it.
Oh man, come on! Just text it to me, dude. Text me a picture. I want to see what this deer looks like.
I will.
Big deer should be dying on the roads at the third week of July.
Dude, I saw a giant one last year down southern Maryland. Got hit literally like opening morning. Got hit by a person that I know on their way to work opening morning in the dark, and it was a giant. Just happened. And the thing that sucks about hitting them this year is like, even if you got a salvage tag, like those antlers are so hard to salvage. it
There's
sucks.
no point.
Yeah, it's just mush in there, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm definitely ready for it. I don't have a game plan per se. I have an idea of what I'm going to do. I have no lease this year, so I'm going public for the most part. Permission piece has nothing that excites me. You know, definitely some deer that need to get passed.
Yeah.
But the hard part over there is like, you know how it is. Like, if anybody's hunting that state land that butts right up to that, they're going to shoot those deer.
Yeah.
So that's tough, but I'm going to try that piece over here and just kind of see if I can put that deer together, see what I can do with that.
Yeah. I would just start throwing sits and stuff. That's my favorite thing, is just going into a property and sitting it for the first time is like so exciting.
Yeah. Like I told you my game plan, or what I thought I was going to do. So I drove down there the other day, just kind of down that road to see if I could find like an access point where they're crossing the road into the ag. Yeah. And I've got a pretty good trail that I saw cutting through there. So I think like opening week, I'm going to just try to slip in there and see if I'm sure a lot of it's at nighttime or whatever, but I'm going to try to just catch them, maybe in the evening. So we'll see.
You got to catch them like in the first week that it opens.
Right.
Dude, I feel like, Mason, you're obviously running a lot of cameras right now. How many out do you have?
I got like 8 cells.
8 maxing out. Nice.
And about 6 of them are horrible spots.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, see, that's what I'm getting at. Like, I ran 3 cameras for some of last year until somebody stole my third from. So, and if there's no way I'm ever gonna find them. But if you're out there and you stole my camera and you want to have a good old throwdown in somebody's backyard, I'm ready. But I feel like a lot of times running cameras like deterred me away from hunting certain places just because my camera wasn't catching the deer. Where like I still have my most fun hunts and like a lot of my best hunts when like I'll have cameras running in 2 places and I'll go into some other random place that I've never hunted before and just go in there and get around sign and like just go hunting. And like those are the most fun and most enjoyable ones for me, even if you don't shoot something. Like I don't know, like I feel like sometimes paralysis by analysis can be a real thing. Like it's a lot of valuable intel when you're running a lot of cameras, but like it can also spin you out too. It's like having 4,000 waypoints on the flat. It's like sometimes it can just make you not go hunting. I don't know. I'm rambling.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely they can get you to a point where you're relying on them for sure. Right. I mean, it happens to everybody. I mean, especially on some of the lease properties that I've had, man, you get real reliant on them. And it's like, man, he's been fucking over here every afternoon at 4:00 in the afternoon in this one corner. So and you keep trying to go in there and you never see him and you just don't understand. But I mean, that's the beauty of it, is like you're saying, like just going and walking in and reading sign and just kind of finding a spot that's a reward in itself, whether you shoot one or not.
Yeah. I mean, my best like 4 or 5 zones on public, I don't have a camera on. I probably won't all year because it's only going to deter me. Like every spot I have a camera this year, exception for one, is somewhere I've never ran one, and I just kind of do that every year in a loop and just get intel for the next year. Like pretty much everything I feel like I'm learning with my cameras from one year is just going into the next year. It doesn't really affect me like in real time.
Yeah.
But, like I have galleries of just trail cam pics, and when I hit October 17th and I'm trying to decide where to sit, start looking through historic intel and like, okay, this deer was here and
yeah, and I feel like that's what separates a lot of people too, is like for some people that can be such an information overload because like you're trying to collect all this data from certain spots and you're trying to keep it organized and you're thinking to yourself, okay, last November, this deer was here. Last October, this deer was here, and blah, blah, blah. And like for some people that can definitely be an information overload. But if you if you can do like what you do and keep it stashed in there and keep it organized in your head and you know what's what. And I mean, it's just like the ultimate key to success that plays a big role in your success every year for sure.
I don't think it's just remembering it in your head though, Mace, if I'm reading this correctly. You said you have galleries on your phone.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So that's, you got a system to it.
Yeah.
Like you're invested in the intel that you gather from your cameras, and then you put that intel into a system that you can efficiently go back into and sort through it quickly. Like if you were to ask me right now, like, what was your best activity month on your cameras, I would have to go into the Reveal app and like it'd take me a long time to figure it out. I'd probably give up on it before I actually got you the answer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the fact that you have a system to it, that is what creates the efficiency. And then that's what creates the ability to keep doing it. Because like, as you get better at doing things and you become more efficient and like, the natural mind works of like, reward and how that makes you motivated to do more things. It shows that, it's not random. It's not, deer hunting, fishing, all that stuff. It's not random. The more you put into it and the more systems you create and the more processes that you have inside of those, strategies, it's never random. So,
right.
Yeah.
That's some juicy stuff there. How are you just downloading all your pictures individually and then, letting your iPhone categorize them, or how does that work?
No, I just have a gallery and screenshot them and put them in it, and not just trail cam pics, like from good sits. Sounds weird, but like I'll just take a picture of straight down of my saddle in the tree, and when I put it in that gallery, I just look at that date and I'm like, okay, I know what tree that was, where it was. That was a good sit on September 26th.
So you only take pictures of good sits.
Yeah. For the most part, yeah.
So it's like like Duke said on the podcast with us back in the winter or in the spring, he only marks a waypoint if they're 3 pounds or better or whatever, or they have categories or whatever. So like, where are you putting your baseline of a good sit?
Seeing a mature deer.
Okay.
Yeah. A mature buck.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that still do, and I know a couple that still do it in diary form. Like there's a lot of people, that was like real popular a while ago. Like people would write in a diary. Yeah. Like just make notes of every sit, and then you can kind of go, okay, here's my 2025 deer season. Let's look back. Okay, this specific location, when it was this wind, I saw X deer, so on and so forth. It's kind of the same general idea. But it is all, like you said, it's not, for the most part, it's not random. Right. These deer move very specifically year to year. We're like myself, like this year is going to be, I'm actually kind of looking forward to it just because this one deer that I keep, sending you guys, like we knew of the deer from one video on a piece of state land. And then on private land, we found the sheds. Well, Mason found the set. And then this year come around, I've been seeing the deer quite a bit. So it's going to be fun chess match to kind of, even if I don't kill him, it's going to be fun to learn. Okay, here's where he is now. Here's where he's going, September, October, November. Here's where he's going, December, January, etc. So that'll be interesting for sure. It's Mason. We lost Mason, I think.
Did we? Yeah, he looks.
Yeah, he's frozen in time.
Yeah, he looks pretty froze up for sure. Well,
but yeah, so I don't know, man. I'm looking forward to deer season. But obviously we got some fishing left. Hopefully to get out a couple more times. But
got a lot of fishing left, no doubt. The season is young, and guys, if you're listening out there, twilight trips right now are the deal, especially if you can wrap it around a low tide week. Low tide, sun going down, we're gonna get some bites on top. So
can't beat that, man. Those frog bites are just so fun, dude. Just so fun.
Can't beat it with a stick. But It looks like we lost Shane Mason, or it looks like we lost Mason Shane. So
yeah, that's all right. We'll go ahead and we'll tie it up. But yeah. So just one more time, just kind of shout out where people can reach out to you if they want to take a trip or whatever.
Yeah. You can just, hit me up on social media. My Instagram is Risby Fishing. My Facebook is my name, Richard Ledbeater. And my business is Rhythm of the Tides Guide Service LLC. You can reach me at 609-352-6046. I have 3 different pricing options on trips, got 2 different boats to run. So, give me a shout. We can accommodate, or I can accommodate, whatever your needs, group trips, everything in between. So, I appreciate all the support, all the help everybody has given me up to this point. And, I hope to continue sharing the amazing resource that we have here of the Upper Bay, with people, as much as I can, because it is truly a place. It's an amazing fishery. It's just an amazing ecosystem. And so whatever capacity people want to enjoy it in, whether it's going to reel in a fish or whether it's going to watch birds, we can do all that. So
hell yeah. Awesome, man. Well, definitely hit them up, guys. I promise you won't be disappointed. But so again, it's the Upper Bay Podcast. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all the things. We'll catch you on the next one. Later.